Today I'm going to be making Dandan noodles from Dandadan, but there's actually no Dandan noodles in Dandadan, so I've thought of a way to include da in Dandadan noodles. Da bomb. Da, you get it? Okay. This chili sauce belongs in Dandadan because this anime is fire. I apologize for saying that. I feel very old. So hear me out. Dandadan is probably my favorite anime of this season. So I have to pay homage to this anime somehow, and I only know how to do that with food. So welcome. Where did I put everything? For those of you who may be new to the channel, thanks to Dandadan, my name's Paul, CHEFPK. I like to make a bunch of food from anime and video games, and I've been doing this for a very long time now. But one of my favorite things is to play with my food, and that is where today's recipe comes in. This is a relatively simple recipe to put together, although it does need quite a few components. Dandadan noodles in and of themselves are rich and spicy and have a distinct flavor behind them thanks to this spice blend, which is a lot of Szechuan peppercorns. Szechuan peppercorns have a numbing agent to them, so they make your mouth not necessarily be spicy, but it makes your mouth go numb. And it's really fun. So into about a quarter cup of oil, I'm adding in just a couple pieces of cinnamon stick, one little piece of star anise, and then about a tablespoon of Szechuan peppercorns. Now this is going to start to steep and start to fry just a little bit, and then I'm gonna strain it and add some chili flake. Now this isn't gonna fry for too long, just a couple of minutes. What I'm really looking for is this kind of really fragrant smell to come off from the Szechuan peppercorns. You'll know, once your senses have been activated, thinking that you may or may not die from the Szechuan peppercorn inhalation, that's when it's done. And while this is going, I'm going to casually walk over here and turn on my burner for the water to boil the noodles. Now I'm gonna go get the noodles. Oh God, okay, you need to chill out, bro. I'm using some dried wheat noodles here. Oh, it's starting to really be fragrant. I'm gonna turn this down. But you can also use kind of like fresh wheat noodles that you can find from the store. Chill out, you're fine. Feels like Turbo Granny is attacking me. This is done, and I'm gonna go drop these in the water too. I'm over here. 1 bundle of noodles in salted water, 2 bundles of noodles in salted water. Now I'm doing 2 bundles of noodles because I am feeding my wife as well, so we each get 1 bundle. Now this all has to be strained and removed. So it's a little toasty, it'll be okay. We're not eating any of this stuff. Now this is the oil that I'm left with. I'm gonna be taking 2 tablespoons of chili flake and adding it to the oil with the oil off. This is just gonna steep in here until we need it. So I'm just gonna put it on the other stove to get it out of the way so I can make everything else spicy. I like to make videos this way where I'm bouncing back and forth because this is realistically how I cook. I apologize if it's a little more difficult to follow, but this is how it is in a real kitchen. Now I'm gonna start searing off all of the meat that I'm gonna be using for this Dandadan noodle. I'm gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of oil into the wok. Crank this up to a nice high heat. You can also just use a saute pan if you don't have a wok. Don't feel obligated to use a wok if you don't have one. It's not gonna be exactly the same, but I mean, you gotta use what you gotta use if you want some Dandadan noodles in your life. Once the oil starts smoking, I'm adding in about a pound of ground chicken thigh. Yes, I said chicken thigh. Traditionally, Dandadan noodles, I keep saying Dandadan, traditionally Dandan noodles get pork, but because I am watching my macros right now, I'm down 8 pounds in the last 2 months. I'm gonna be using chicken instead of pork. If you want pork, use pork. If you want chicken, use chicken. You know, use whatever you want. Use beef, veal, totally up to you. I'm just browning this pork just a little bit before I add all of my other additions to this. While this is cooking, I'm gonna go check the noodles. Oh yeah, baby. So while that meat is cooking, I'm gonna bring my noodles over here. You can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna remove the noodles from the water so I can reserve some of the water that we're gonna use later. I'm also gonna run these beautiful noodles under some cold water because my wife's not eating this right now, so I'm just gonna cool down all of it. It's just easier. I'm gonna take this water and put it back on the stove to get it out of my way. I'm also gonna throw some ice into this pasta. I think the canister's running out of juice. Let me replace it. You know, one day I'll have, oh yeah, that's empty. One day I'll have a stove like here for you guys. And the only way to do that is with today's sponsor, Cooking with Chaos.
Are you tired of having the same boring thing for dinner every night? Are you frustrated with trying to make complicated meals you found on Pinterest you might not even like? When you're cooking with Chaos, those worries all go away. Cooking with Chaos is a brand new infinite recipe card system that lets you pick and choose from 20 different proteins, 20 different sauces, and 20 different sides. Want something simple? Pick 3 cards and make a meal. Do you want all the chaos? Combine multiple sauces, proteins, and sides for something chaotic and delicious. Making dinner with your favorite person and you both want something different? Pick cards together and make your custom combo. You and your favorite person pick 3 different cards, then roll to see which combo you make. Cooking with Chaos has infinite possibilities. With With full ingredient lists on the front and full recipes with macronutrients on the back, you will have everything you need to never be bored in the kitchen again. So what are you waiting for? Start Cooking with Chaos today by pre-ordering at cookingwithchaos.gg. That's cookingwithchaos.gg, and you will receive 3 free cards from a future expansion pack with every pre-order. Head over to cookingwithchaos.gg to pre-order now.
So if you want to support what we do and pick up an amazing product I've been working on for the past 3 years, head over to the link down below or the QR code on screen and pre-order Cooking with Chaos today. How cool is it that I can finally sponsor myself? Now this chicken is going to get a few things. The first one is some hoisin sauce. This is a really nice, like sweeter sauce. I don't really know how to explain it. It's like a sweet teriyaki-y glaze kind of vibe to it. It's delicious. It's like Vietnamese ketchup. Then to this, I'm adding some 5-spice powder. 1 of 2 times we're gonna be using this today. This is about a 1/4 teaspoon of 5-spice powder. Next is some Zhaojing cooking wine. This is a Chinese cooking wine. We're gonna be doing about a tablespoon of this bad boy. If you do not have wine or you can't use wine, feel free to use just a splash of vinegar. And then finally, I'm gonna be adding in about 1.5 tablespoons of dark soy sauce. It's a little bit different than a regular soy sauce. It's a much deeper and much saltier flavor. Oh, look at the color that this bad boy has now. Look at, oh, it's so pretty, love it. Now I'm gonna cook this just until a lot of that liquid has evaporated and absorbed into the meat. I'm just, I love Dandan noodles. I love Dandadan. I'm not looking forward to the bomb at all. Neither is my butt, neither is my stomach. Look at how beautiful this looks. Oh, I'm gonna show you over here too. Look at that bite. Don't you just wanna eat it as is? You know what this would be really amazing as? A little bao bun, okay? Put some of the chicken or the pork in there, huh? And put some of the dandan sauce that we're gonna make. Done, tacos. I'm gonna take this out of the wok because I still need the wok. So this can just be set aside for now. So now I have all of my meat done. Pasta is done, which I'm actually gonna take out of the water right now before we progress. Just so this way the pasta or the noodles doesn't absorb too much liquid. You actually don't wanna leave any kind of noodle in water for too long because it continues to absorb said water. It's like when you make ramen, and if you let the noodles sit too long into the ramen broth, it absorbs all of it. It's just not what you want. Or maybe it is what you want, do whatever you wanna do. Now, one thing that I couldn't find for the Dandan noodles is something called sumi yasai. It's a preserved mustard green, and it's very hard to find. I couldn't find it anywhere near me. I think the closest I could find it is maybe somewhere closer to Portland, but just couldn't find it anywhere local. Everything else I was able to find at a big box grocery store, so you should be able to make all of this aside this. So I'm gonna show you kind of a little substitute. I'm gonna take 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, maybe a teaspoon of sugar. Just mix that up in there. A little sprinkle of sugar right on top. Microwave, 30 seconds. Cucumber, cut it in half. Then thinly slice am I gonna beat the clock? We got there. Cucumber goes into this little mixture now. Give us a little swirl, give it a little toss. We're just gonna let this marinate in here just until we're ready to use it. It'll be pretty fresh, which is nice. It's not an exact replacement for the sumi yasai, but honestly, I do really like it in Dandan noodles. Oh, I said it right that time. Now this is where we're gonna give it a taste and see if it needs any more salt. Nope, good. A little salty, a little acidic, that's nice. Now the Dandadan noodle sauce is pretty simple to make. I'm gonna take a couple of spoonfuls of my hot noodle water that has some of the starch in there too, which is really nice. And it is seasoned from some of the salt. Don't add too much yet, because we're gonna thin this out if we need to. This gets all of this. 2 cloves of garlic, nice and crushed. 1 tablespoon of crushed Szechuan peppercorns, and about a tablespoon of sugar. This is the second portion of the Chinese 5-spice in here, which is a 1/4 teaspoon, and about a tablespoon of tahini. Tahini is a sesame paste that is super rich, super creamy, and my grandmother used to eat this instead of peanut butter on her toast. Gonna give this a stir, and our sauce is pretty much done. That's it. It's a little wet. We're gonna roll with it. We just won't use as much water when we make the actual noodles. I wonder how this would taste on like chicken wings. It also gets a splash of soy sauce, which it was literally just sitting next to it. I totally forgot. It's 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Now it's done. Now comes the fun part. We get to put this all together. Let's make this thing, yeah? Let's do this. I could just listen to that all day. I don't even know what he's saying, but it's so good. Little bit of oil. The last thing I have to do is cook off a little bit of spinach. You can choose any green like bok choy or whatever, but this is all I need left, and then we can plate this thing. Spinach, done. Easy. Eat your greens, okay? I'm gonna reheat my pasta water so I can get that hot again. I'm also gonna take some of the meat and just put it in the wok, you know, get it nice and warm again. Throw this on the stove. Take about half my noodles, put it in the water. We're just trying to warm it up just a little bit. Now, my friends, order of operation. Put this in reachable distance. I'm using a bowl plate. You can use a bowl, use whatever, you can use a cup. Like I said, you do you. I'm gonna take some of my noodle sauce, put this on the bottom. I'm just trying to make this look fancy, okay? I am gonna bring over some of the liquid that's on here. I'm not gonna fully drain it. I'm gonna put some of these greens just kind of around it, just a little bit. Really does brighten up the dish when you do this. But here's the problem. How do I wanna add da bomb? I think we add da bomb to the meat. I'm gonna regret this one. I'm doing a very small amount because I tried it last night and I almost died. This is how much da bomb sauce I am adding to this. That's it, a half a teaspoon. I've been warned that this is a mistake. Oh, I can already smell all of the chili in here. Oh my God. Oh, I still have to put the chili sauce on there. Take some of our chili sauce that has a ton of chili flakes in it. They're right on top. What am I doing to myself today? This is in honor of Dandadan. That's what's happening. Next, the only saving grace for my mouth and my stomach, some fresh cucumbers that were like lightly pickled. Oh, this looks amazing though. A couple of peanuts sprinkled throughout. Yes, you can crush them, but I'm being lazy, okay? And then finally, good helping of green onions because green onions give everybody life. And there, my friends, are Dandadan noodles. Look at this pile of food. It's so appetizing and so unassuming. And then you take a bite and it smashes you in the face, just like Dandadan does. Here we go. Dandadan noodles with da bomb hot sauce. And admittedly, when I was taking thumbnail photos of this, another drop had hit this, and I'm terrified. You do have to mix it up, so this way you get all the sauce from the bottom incorporated into the noodles. So maybe, you know, maybe it won't be that bad because like we got all the noodles in there. We can get the sauce to dilute it a little bit from the bottom. And I say these things because I really just hope that it's not gonna be that spicy, but I know it is because there's also all that chili oil that had all of the chili flakes on here too. I'm going for it. Cheers. Oh my God, it's so spicy. I didn't put a lot, but it's like hear me out. It's a pretty good spicy. My mouth is actually on fire right now, but the Szechuan peppercorns adds that numbing flavor. So you have I think it's the ma and la. I learned that from Food Wars, like the numbing spice and the hot, like spicy spice. The flavors are great, and I wanna actually keep eating it. I don't know how much of the spice is coming from da bomb or from the other spices we had put, but it definitely builds. But it's good enough to take a second bite. I actually really like this now. I can't feel my mouth, but this is pretty good. And Dandan noodles can take inspiration from Dandadan using da bomb sauce as part of the da in the Dandan to make Dandadan noodles. My name is Chef PK. Make sure you check out today's sponsor, Cooking with Chaos, and remember, keep playing with your food.